but we basically further Allegro's findings in that area.
Allegro's findings were mostly linguistic.
Yes, his findings were mostly linguistic, and in fact, just before Gordon Wasson died, I should mention that you had said that these other researchers were against Allegro. Carl Ruck has actually come out in complete favor of Allegro recently and published an article called Fungus Redivivus, where he's come out in total support of Allegro's work. And he argues, and I say falsely, that Wasson changed his mind about Allegro, but he says that he had a private conversation with Wasson, that Wasson, before his death, changed his mind about Allegro's work and said it was correct, but I have found nothing to corroborate that. And so, anyway, the attacks on Allegro by these different researchers have waned over the years. You had the team of Dead Sea Scrolls experts who published the letter in the London Times against Allegro, but what we found when we looked at that was Allegro's book had almost 200 pages of footnotes, and the people who wrote the letter to the Times only had, from the day that Allegro's book was published until the day they wrote the letter, they only had 1 week to read, verify 200 pages worth of very academic and scholarly footnotes, and write the letter, which we don't think was possible. We don't think that anybody has ever given Allegro's citations a critical review. Everybody has just dismissed them out of hand. And unfortunately, Jonathan Ott fell into that trap because he and Wasson were close friends. So when Wasson attacked Allegro, Ott went with it. And what we found is that a lot of Wasson's statements were purely out of his own self-interest to protect his own 1000 BCE theory. If Allegro was correct, then that made Wasson automatically wrong, and it also put his book Soma into question if Allegro was right. So, we clarify that, or I clarify that in this new article that I've just completed.
Okay, one more question. This is a really interesting conversation, but could you also tell me, Allegro was one of the few people that translated the Dead Sea Scrolls. And most, I don't know what the situation is now. Have all the Dead Sea Scrolls been translated yet or not?
Well, they have not all yet been translated. The majority of them have. Part of the problem was funding. The original Scrolls team, except for Allegro, sat on the Scrolls for 29 years, and none of the Scrolls came out until 1997, when the Huntington Library here in California released the photographs of the Scrolls against all of the original team's wishes. So, it's a good question if all of them have been translated or not. I don't believe all of them have. I believe there's probably still a lot of the Scrolls that are in fragments. Probably a lot of others are still missing. That people, that when the Scrolls were discovered, they were sold on the black market. I think even the New York Times ran ads for collectors to buy them. So a lot of the Scrolls went missing and things like that. So I don't know if we'll ever get them all translated, but I think probably the majority is or has been translated.
It was written in the book, if you must die